Well, hello, welcome back. So as you can see, we're back in DaVinci Resolve here, which if you are getting into video editing or don't know how to get into it, I would recommend going and downloading DaVinci Resolve immediately. It's absolutely free, so let's back up a little bit. You've downloaded, or not downloaded, well, you could have downloaded one of the previous videos that I've made, and you want to chop it up and be able to throw it into your own video, or you want to make your own. You've already recorded your own gameplay, ultimately, like I just showed you. Now let's go into actually editing this up. So if you are in DaVinci Resolve, and like I said, it's free, and it's super powerful, and I wish I would have known about it sooner than I did, but once I did, I was like, yo, let's do this thing. So to import it, you're gonna go to File, Import Media, and then obviously I'm already in the area in which it was, and I actually moved it. It's not in this location anymore, but you could click on the video, open it up, and it'll show up here. So then once you have it here, then you're able to, you can drag the whole thing into this if you wanted to, but that's like 18 minutes, and I'm not gonna go super in depth with like how to use this. If you guys are more curious about like stuff like that, there's a ton of other YouTubers that do a fantastic job of teaching, and I'm not very experienced, but I'm willing to teach what I do know to get people started on something that they may want to do if they want to. Because I mean, I always wanted to edit and make videos and stuff like that, but I just never did because I didn't know how to get into it. But if you want to get into it, download DaVinci Resolve. It's Blackmagic Design, the company that makes the software. Just Google Blackmagic Design. I think it's just blackmagicdesign.com. Honestly, if you go there, you can look up DaVinci Resolve and you can download the free version right then and there and get going. All right, we're gonna go back to the cut page. The cut page is easier for doing this. So we're gonna click on this specifically, and then there's these little views up here, so you can choose your timeline, your source tape, or your source clip. So we got the whole entire clip right here. So basically, when you're on this edit page, or this cut page rather, not the edit page, but the cut page, you can go through and see everything that you recorded. And like I said, this is like 18 minutes, and I have an in and out point over here, so that's why I only moved that little bit. So, all right, let's find a shot that we want to use. I got a little bit of first person, but I don't want to use any of the first person. It's not very cool. I do apologize if this hurts your ears. I'll turn down the input volume so maybe it doesn't explode your ears out. But hit spacebar, you can play it and drag it around. Hit spacebar to play, spacebar to pause. So let's see, let's grab a little clip here. All right, let's pick this point with the stairs. So the easiest way I can suggest to do this, I guess, is using I and O on your keyboard. So when you're at a point that you want to start your clip, you can hit I, and then you'll go through and you'll follow up with your clip. And then obviously you just looking for the rough cut. So we'll keep on going until I get into this room, and then I'll cut it there. So I hit O, and that created this in point and this out point. So then once you do that, you can literally just grab the little tile over here, and you can see these two little tiny vertical lines. Those are those in and out points I just created. So if you just grab the whole clip and just drag it, you can bring it down to your timeline here and just let it go. And then now, the only thing that we have in our timeline is that selected in and out point that we chose. So now that we have that, we can check it, make sure it's looking good, what we want it to be. There we go. It's a little longer than I wanted, but we can take care of that here in a second. So now we can go back to our source clip, and then fortunately our in and out selection points are going to be saved there, so we can go back to where we did that. And let's say we want to cut to a similar, that door was closed and no bot ran through and opened it for the longest time. I was like, are you serious? Am I about to have to jump back into a team just to open up that door so I can get a shot going through it? So if you notice in the video, I don't think there's a single shot of me going through that door, because none of the bots opened it. I was like, are you serious? So anyway, so we got that cut of this, or this shot of this room, and now let's do it to edit going out the window here. And I know I did do that, and I was just trying to get a more clean shot. So here we go. This looks pretty good. So we can start our end point there. Let's play through. And boom. That looks pretty solid. We can go to about right there. I started moving quick, so I'll call the cut right there. So then again, we can just go ahead and click and drag. And then now, when viewing this, you'll see that I have this entire, which I'll fast forward a little bit so we don't have to go through the whole room. So then I have this whole cut right here, and then a little cut here in just a second, boom, and now I'm over here and going out the window. That dude's getting throwing knifed or something, I don't know. But boom. So we got those two clips. Now I'm trying to keep this short and quick just so it's not like a 30-minute video. But we got that shot. And then I got more shots of trying to go out the window here, which were all looking pretty solid. Let's start our end point there. A little rough on the playback. We can set an out point there, why not? So now we have 3 clips in our timeline. Let's go over to the edit page, and now we can see that we have these 3 clips just right over here waiting for us to be edited. So you can do that with my clips that I've made and put to download, or you can ultimately learn how to do it yourself. So I'll show off a quick little couple basic things. Obviously, left click, you select and you can drag, and then if you bring it up, it'll overlap. So then this works like a layer system. So let's say if I put this one on top of this one, I'll still get the audio from both of them, obviously, but this one being on the top layer, this will actually overwrite this previous clip. So about halfway through this other one will show up. And we'll still have the audio from both, and it might be a little hectic, but and boom, now it's being overwritten. Now we're on that shot, but we can drag it right back. And fortunately, as long as the audio is actually saved with the clip, then it'll be tied together. And if you want to get rid of that, you can click link clips, and then now it'll allow you to individually select the video or the audio. So I'm going to go ahead and just unlink all these clips and then click off of them, and then that's not what I wanted to do. I just ripple deleted. I didn't want to ripple delete. I'm gonna edit, I'm gonna undo that. And we're gonna hit backspace instead of delete. So now we just have silent video clips of this area here. I think there's actually a little bit of a space there for some reason. There's not. That's an optical illusion. But anyway, that's basically the gist of this. So this clip goes on a little longer than I wanted as I start turning right. So let's back that up a little bit. We can use our arrow keys to go frame by frame. And you'll see that the recording isn't perfect. I actually do get some skipped frames there, because like, that's the exact same frame, but as you can see, actually, that's 3 frames at 24 frames a second that didn't get recorded. and that was actually at a 60 FPS recording. So there's at least like 8 frames that are just all exactly the same there, which I don't understand why that's happening. I blame the capture card, but let's get back on track here. This has already been 12 minutes. Basically, I use one keyboard shortcut, well, I guess 2 keyboard shortcuts the most, and that's literally just B and A, and those are also right back up here. So that's gonna be the blade tool. It's the blade edit mode, and you can just hit B, and that'll activate that mode. And then A is gonna be selection mode. So then you're able to just go back to selecting the clips. Because if you're on B, wherever you're clicking on is going to it's gonna cut the clip. So again, let's go back to when I started looking right. Let's check out all these frames. I'm looking left, and then I started going in an opposite direction. So I want to get rid of that opposite direction move. So we got that, and then you can turn on this magnet right here, and that keyboard shortcut is going to actually be in, and it'll turn on snapping. So if you're wanting to cut right where your playhead is, and that's that red line here, then it should snap to it. As long as you're hovering over it, it'll snap to that. All right, so we're gonna hit B, we're gonna cut it right there, and then we're gonna go A, back to our selection tool, and right here we can hit either delete or backspace. Delete will be a ripple delete, so it'll pull everything that was behind that clip up to the point in which it was deleted. So if you pay attention to this clip here, if I hit delete, it slides and butts up against this one. But if I undo that and I click back on this and I hit backspace instead, that just deletes it and it leaves all the other clips in place. I find that I use just regular delete a lot more than ripple delete, simply because if you have multiple audio tracks or multiple video tracks, that ripple delete can kind of mess up some of your other edits if you're at all moving backward. So that's a good thing to try to avoid. So basically, we still got snapping on, so that just snaps it to the closest clip or your playhead, as you can see there. But that's basically it. So we got some audio, and this audio was from Epidemic Sound. I do subscribe to them. That's not a sponsor or anything like that, but I just wanted to let you know that because you wouldn't be able to use the audio in this video without a subscription to Epidemic Sound yourself. So if you are wanting to use this, just mute the audio and add your own music, which I'm sure you'd want to anyway. And I'll probably end up just adding or making packs that aren't to music and are just unedited. Well, I mean, they'll be edited, but like no transitions or anything. Just a jump cut or a hard cut, rather just like that, instead of trying to make it a little bit more fancy so it has people can have more freedom with it. I don't want to make them stuck with my edits and everything like that. If they didn't like the transition or had a different idea, they'd be able to use it. So that's basically it. So when it comes down to, I just try to sync things up to some music sometimes. So I'll pay attention to the waves and get those cuts on there. So one thing we could do, we could cut out the middle of this. Like, you don't really need to see me going behind this area to know that it's there. So we could find a spot that cuts on beat. We can readjust this. So that sounds about good. We'll go back a frame. We'll cut it there. And let's go back up to where we want to actually see again. So then B to make that cut, and then A to select again. And then we're just going to delete that. And then let's scoot this over here. And then actually, let's go ahead and do something a little bit more fancy. So this actually changes how big your clips look in the timeline. So obviously if you did a huge project, you can make it super tiny. You can't even see like the 10 seconds of clips. You can slide the slider or just hit the plus or minus button. But sometimes if you're doing things, you got to be a little bit in close. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to right click, and I'm actually going to open up the retime curve. We're going to open up retime curve because I prefer the retime curve over retime controls because I feel there's a little bit more freedom. But when you open this up, it's going to be on retime frame, which you can do a whole lot of different stuff in here, but we want retime speed. So we're going to check speed and we're going to uncheck retime frame. Then you want to click back on that to make sure that this is actually what you're looking at. So this entire clip here, we can actually just drag down to about, let's do 48%. I can go all the way down to 40% without it really messing up. We could actually speed that up just a little bit. So now I just want to edit something with kind of like this beat drop here. But I don't know what to do. Let's edit it on this snare hit so we can get in close and we can see the waveforms. And then actually if you go frame by frame, you can hear the audio that's in that frame. And you can see where you start to hear the snare. So we can hear the snare there. So I'm going to hit B. We're going to cut right there. I'm going to hit A. And we don't need that section of the clip anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. I'm going to back it up a little bit. And now we got this part. Let's see how it's looking. Alright, so now that I have this clip that's basically a similar angle out of this window as this one, except this one's looking more over the container area, and this one's looking over the middle area. Let's go ahead and change that so that this edit goes into the middle area. So let's look for that snare again. There it is. That's the frame I hear it on. So I'm going to cut there. We're going to delete that again. We're going to butt this up to that. And then we're basically just going to see how this looks. So actually, one thing that I do want to do, I do like the timing of this edit and everything like that. So I'm actually just going to go to change clip speed because that will maintain the timing and everything like that. And let's just slow it down to about 52%. Why not? So now let's go back and watch these couple edits, make sure it's looking smooth like we want it to. Good enough for me, and there you go. You got a 20-second clip that is to music if you just so wanted to put that in the background of a video or something, of a talking head, or you're explaining something, or you're gonna start a montage or whatever. It's as easy as that though. Obviously didn't spend very much time on it. I could do a lot more effects. I could add these different things on there. I could actually try to make the transitions a little bit more fancy, but for the sake of just showing you how I make these videos, I'm not going to go super in depth with stuff like that because I'm not all that knowledgeable. I'm trying to learn every day, but one day I'll be good, really good. But for now, I'm just learning, just like many of you are. But if you'd like other videos of me just kind of doing this or this style of video, give the video a thumbs up, a like, if you will. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. I don't only like doing this. I like doing a lot of stuff, and I'm wanting to do a lot more cinematic stuff that's actually live action. I got this camera back here. Wanting to do some stuff with that, so I want to make some like shorts and maybe it's like horror shorts and sci-fi shorts and stuff. I'm also trying to learn Blender. You see Blender down here. I'm trying to learn how to model things so I can composite it into live action footage. But otherwise, once you're done with the actual edit and you're calling it good, you can just go over to this deliver page and then select a location or a preset. So like if you're uploading it to YouTube, there's a whole YouTube preset that you don't even have to really mess with. But you can choose what kind of format you want, like an MP4 or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can choose your resolution, depending on obviously your the resolution of the video that you put in. This is just going to be a 1920 by 1080. I use a 24 frame rate simply just because it looks natural to the eyes, and then also it allows you to slow it down the most without using like optical flow or anything like that. Which I don't know if you can actually use optical flow with the free version. So everything that I did, I know you can do on the free version. I made sure not to do anything that's exclusive to the studio version. So basically, yeah, let's just go ahead and we can hit B. We're gonna cut this audio, maybe, I thought. There we go. We can select the end of the clip, we can delete the clip. And these little sliders are actually just faders. So if you wanted to fade out your video, you can just use those to do a quick like opacity thing. You can do the same thing with the audio. And there you go. That's basically it. There's a lot you can do with the inspector. So when you click on an audio clip, this should pop up over here. If not, you can click inspector and it'll show up. And basically that'll allow you to do all kinds of things like zoom in or out. You can change the position of the video, the pitch, or the yaw, in case you want to add some fake movement in there. You can move the anchor point so that like your X and Y is adjusted based on your anchor point. But you can do all kinds of stuff, just mess with the opacity. And that's basically all I did on the video, is I just mainly did opacity. I used a little bit of optical flow on a couple things. Like I slowed a clip way down and used the optical flow, and it actually looked pretty good. I was surprised. But you can also crop, so you can crop left, crop right, crop top, crop bottom, crop top. And then you can adjust the softness too. And that is just a basic overview of DaVinci Resolve and how I make these videos. I do appreciate you watching this video and being patient with me and maybe learning something, I don't know. But like I said, if you like these videos, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. I like to post just kind of random stuff. I like making videos like this, but I also like posting gameplay. I actually really like posting gameplay because I like playing games the most. Everybody likes playing games the most. Nobody actually likes the whole editing process the most. That's the boring part, but it is also the most satisfying part. There's honestly not much a better feeling than working hours on an edit and then you finally look at it and you're like, wow, that's actually pretty sweet. I'm very proud of that. It's something that's very self-fulfilling, I guess. You can be like, you know what, I made that. Like I made those little adjustments. You'll find those little things that you're like, ooh, I really like how I did that. And you'll start implementing that into your own style and everything like that, which I'm still trying to find my style. That's why every single video is different. But that's basically it. So we'll take a look at it one more time as we roll out of here. Cool. Thanks, guys. Catch you next time.